Before you had your own space, talk to me about how you were leveraging like regular outdoor spaces, like just the difference and the pre-times of having your
Yeah.
own like
Yeah. Well, I mean, at
space.
the very, very start, we were on platforms like Meetup, and just using public tennis courts that we would go out and line with
with painter's tape.
Yeah, to make pickleball courts on the tennis courts. That was really early days. And then we started pitching local country clubs. In Charlottesville, there are a handful, like 3 or 4, prominent tennis country clubs. And at the time, maybe some of them had heard of pickleball, but none of them. I mean, today, every country club is converting tennis courts into pickleball courts. But back then, that wasn't happening yet. And so we really had to pitch them. We said, this is a great way to sort of tap a new audience. So we would go to them basically and say, we want to do this event here. We'd pay whatever we had to pay to book the courts for the day. Maybe they would give us a discount if we could really convince them that we were going to bring in a new audience. But then we would either use their food and beverage team or we'd bring in outside people. But that was always critical. We said, look, this is not just going to be a sports tournament. This is going to be a vibe. We're here to create something fun. I think that was our earliest experience of having to pitch. Before we pitched investors, we pitched the people that would sort of help us, experiment with this concept.
Amazing. Okay, let's talk about investors. I didn't even know. I hadn't done enough like background research. Tell me that story. Had you been kind of for a while building out your whole business plan and then you realized like now's the time we need support? What did that journey look like for you?
As soon as we really figured out that we wanted to do something large scale, because these Pickle Fest events, we weren't making any money. We were breaking even because we'd have to obviously pay to rent the courts, and everything we did cost just as much as we earned from it.
And it was hard to scale that business plan, always relying on an external venue facility to work with our schedule and kind of align with the vision that we had for our program. It kind of led us to thinking, I think like, what do we need to really scale this? And we were like, okay, we want our own space.
And with that, we knew from the beginning, we'd have to raise money because that's many, many millions of dollars that we did not possess. So, really had no experience doing that before. I, just came out of business school. So I was like, all right, we got to do this by the book. I wrote probably a 60-page business plan that to this day, I don't think anyone has ever read. We'd always provide it and they'd be like, yeah, okay, look at the numbers. Good. Let's go.
Send me a one-page.
I know. Nobody wants to read 60 pages. Lesson learned on that front.